Welcome to New Hampshire. This is round 2 of the Indy Elite Series, brought to you by ESBN, the Esports Broadcasting Network. My name is Sam Cooper Bennett, and joining me in the booth, as always, is my brother from another mother, my partner in crime, Mr. Tony Chapasso. Tony, after an exciting race at Homestead, we changed dynamics and we are heading to a much shorter track here for this second round.
A much shorter track, a much tighter track, and a track that I dare say this is the only track in the real world that I hate more than Pocono.
Yeah, it's a very tricky track. As we've seen a few drivers have a few oops, as you would say, in the hot lap sessions. It's going to be, yeah.
You call barrel rolling an IR-18 down the back straightaway and oops?
Well,
I'm not going to say who did it, but
I don't know who did it. All I can see is cars barrel rolling. But anyway, we are here for round 2. Chris Stofer picking up the win last week. Joshua Chin is going to be the man looking to try and get his championship defense off to a better start tonight, because he had a horrible race at Homestead, Tony.
very much so. And you know, as I'm looking at these guys take their work on their hot lap sessions right now, I'm hoping that this calms down for the race.
Yeah.
Because holy cow,
It's a usual dynamic for drivers to get their bumps and their wrecks out the way in hot lap sessions. We've been there, we've done it before, so we know what it's like.
The guys I'm seeing have issues right now are the guys that aren't trying to wreck.
That's true. As we are going to go straight to the track now, as we have people still out on track, just turning some laps, as we got about a minute or two left in hot lap session. So let's go straight to the action out there right now.
More like a second or two, Sam.
Yeah, we're about to go to qualifying, so Brandon Trost the fastest out there for hot laps.
Yeah, Trost is pretty much had the car under him, and not a real big surprise at who was sitting second quick.
Yeah.
Zach Campbell, arguably one of the best oval specialists in the business. You know, he was flat getting it as well. It's the guys that don't have a lot of short track experience that I'm gonna kind of worry about.
Yeah, I mean, it depends on who can get the best runs. I mean, the one to look out for is this man here, Joshua Chin, already struggling in qualifying as he hits the wall. Not sure what's going on there, as we're going to bring up the lap counter and the timer as he comes back out on track again. Going back to Brandon Trost, he is a former winner here at New Hampshire, so he knows how to get it done. As we see Joshua Chin stopping at the blue cone there.
He clipped the grass coming out of the pits.
The winner last time here was Andrew Kinsella, as Logan Simmons goes straight to the top of the board. I remember last week Logan Simmons had one hell of a run before the inevitable oops happened.
Very much so. Liam Quinn laying down a very solid lap. Chad Simpson, the only other driver to actually post a time so far, as times are going to start coming in hot and heavy right now. Wow. Andrew Woods, first one into the 21s tonight.
Yep, Andrew Woods out there on track. Eric O'Connor going straight to the top of the board as well. You see him right there.
The thing with New Hampshire that a lot of drivers forget is turns 1 and 3 are actually late apex corners. The only problem is, as you go to turn in to take the proper apex through those corners,
yeah,
you leave the door wide open for somebody to dive bomb you.
Yeah, and that's the unfortunate thing about this track. Dive bombs will be a factor here. Let's take a look at Joe Flanagan, as he is another one that was
Josh Chin to the top of the pile.
Yeah, that was always going to happen. I'm having trouble with my ATVO right now for some reason.
Because ATVO.
Yeah, he's not on track, that's why. Joe Branch, one man that had a pretty mediocre run, shall I say? He had a... He was running in the mid...
Less than stellar.
Yeah. He was running in the mid-pack for the most part, and just was in pretty much no man's land for most of the night, as you see Adam Plunkett just drop into the top 5 there with Adam Dock. Second place last week, he is in 5th place. Adam Blocker out on track as well. You see him right there in the number 26. He's out on track, and winner from last time we were at New Hampshire in this series. Andrew Kinsella just coming out on track now, well, or creeping out of pit road anyway. But the man to watch here is Zach Campbell. He is out on track as well now, Tony.
Zach laid down some pretty solid laps during the hot lap session, as Adam Blocker and Andreas Elk, or Eek. I read ATVO, change your font. Andreas Eek, both going into the top 3. Joe Branch, probably not going to be happy with that qualifying attempt. He's only going to go 14th quick. Zach Campbell, though, coming out of 4 now to the stripe.
Let's put him 3rd. Good time for Zach Campbell.
One and done for Zach Campbell, too.
Yeah. As that is going to be his qualifying done. Chris Stofer, winner from last week. He is out on track as well right now.
And how about Andrew Kinsella going to the top of the pile?
Yep. And like I said, Andrew Kinsella, he's a man that's won here before. He won last season. So no surprise that he is up there in the at the top of the board. As we're looking at last week's winner, Chris Stofer, out on track right now. Just he hits the wall coming out of 2.
Coming out of 2 on his flyer, so he's pretty much going to have a one and done getting a new car there. So he's got to make the most of this outlap.
Yeah, he does. He's reversing in pit road, which is unusual. I suppose he wants to get a big run towards the cones, maybe? I don't know. Or burn some fuel off, anyway.
That seems to be what he's doing. The only thing is at this track, I would want to be... I'd want that car as heavy as I could get it to plant the damn thing coming off the corner.
Absolutely. As we're watching Michael Peters just on his qualifying run now. He's on his lap now. I think it's one flyer that you get around here, so that's what the general consensus is.
Well, they're taking a one and done. You get 2 green flag laps.
Yep. Michael Peters drops to the bottom of the time and scoring. He's 22nd and last of the people that have taken times. Chris Stofer back out on track now. See if he can actually pick it up this time. Crosses the line. That is flyer. Through 1 and 2. Much better through there. Very tidy. Into turn 3 now. Let's see what he can do here.
But if you look at the line he took through 1 and 2, he was way up the track. Missed the turn in 1, missed the turn in 3. That's going to hurt him.
21.6. That is going to be good enough for pole position.
I stand corrected. Wow. Okay. Well then, Sam, it looks like that second lane's already come in then.
Absolutely. As Chris Stofer goes to the pole here. Andrew Seat currently out on track right now. He's probably just turning laps and getting some track knowledge out there. Dakota DiCenzo is out on track as well. I see Brandon Trost on pit road there, just burning some fuel off. He'll be coming out on track very soon. He's got just over 3 minutes left to get that time in, and I'm pretty sure he'll get it in easily between now and the end of the session.
Well, I hope he does.
As you see him just coming out on track now. So Trost, the former winner here, hoping to be a winner here again tonight as Jonathan Goat comes out on I can talk. It's the same problem as last week. Jonathan Goat comes out on track and Ray Kingsbury out on track as well. Let's see what Trost can do here. He was fastest in the hot lap session, so... Oh, as he hits the wall and hits the inside wall hard.
Unfortunately, Sam, I think that's going to be what we're going to see a lot of tonight.
Yep. As we take a look at Jonathan Goat.
That's how quickly it can go wrong.
Yeah. And it did go wrong in a big way.
Goat abandoned his lap.
Yes, he did. As we're going to take a look at Ray Kingsbury, see what he can do. Brandon Trost is back out on track, but let's take a look at Kingsbury for a second. He was a very strong runner last week at Homestead. So it'd be interesting to see if he can do it on the shorter tracks as...
Fourth quick.
Yep.
And then eats the wall coming off of 2.
Yep. We're looking back at Brandon Trost again as he comes across the line. 21.5, that is going to be good enough for pole position. Great time there by the man in the 66. 21.529, that's almost a full tenth faster than Chris Stofer, Tony.
It is, but I mean, you take a look at these times, you got some decent separation. But there's also cars that are close enough that we're going to see some battling going on all night.
Yes,
the biggest question is who's going to be able to keep the tires under this thing the longest. As you know, you and I both know from stock car experience, this track is notorious for killing tires.
Yeah, and it's the flat nature of the track that always gets them as Goke hits the wall again and has to abandon his lap again. So Goke having trouble out there. As we're still seeing Andreas Eek and Dakota DiCenzo still circulating laps. There's Eek and there is DiCenzo.
Can't say I blame him. I'd turn as many laps as I could get, and then get some data on what's going on right now.
Absolutely, and I want to say hello to the people in the chat right now. Brandon Trost is taking the time out since it's qualifying to add a couple of comments. Going to be fun. I can't tell who is sandbagging. And he goes, nice fuel burn, Stofer. I'm guessing he sent that before he went and set the second fastest lap time. The fastest time himself. As qualifying is now over, we are going to go to the race now. I don't know who's... You'd probably know better than me the grid. So Tony, you go ahead.
Yeah, we got to get that fixed. Starting up on the front row, it's going to be Brandon Trost and Chris Stofer. Row 2 is going to go to Andrew Kinsella and Josh Chen. Ray Kingsbury and Adam Block are going to start in row number 3. Row 4 is going to see Zach Campbell and Andreas Eek. Row number 5 is going to go to Henry Bennett and Eric O'Connor. Adam Plunkett and Adam Dock make up row number 6. Joe Flanagan and Andrew Wood make up row number 7. Row 8 is going to see Brad Walters and Dan Lee Ench. Logan Simmons and John Downing make up row number 9. Liam Quinn and Joe Branch are going to roll off in row 10. Row 11 is going to see Riley Thompson and Chad Simpson. No, that's not going to get confusing. Michael Peters and Dakota DiCenzo roll off in row number 12. Row 13 is going to see Richard Holt and Jonathan Goke. Chris Cahoe, Niles Anders, Tony Schoen, and Raul Alvarez all not taking time.
That is your grid for tonight's race. We have Brandon Trost, the former winner here, starting on the pole. Chris Stofer, winner from last week. He will be joining him on that front row. Going to be interested to see how they battle it out during this race. Joshua Chin, better qualifying for him tonight. He'll be looking to get a good race out of tonight after the disappointment of last week. So, man on a mission tonight will be Mr. Chin. As we're still watching people grid up right now. And we're hoping to have a very good race here tonight.
It should be a good race as long as everybody remembers that this is one of the few leagues that we broadcast here on ESPN that does not have a fast repair.
Yep, and it's an open setup IndyCar League as well, so which is another thing we don't have.
Well, we do now, and when Somo makes its return in just a couple of weeks, we're going to have an open setup stock car league on Thursday nights.
Yes, we will, and we look forward to seeing that one. That's a very popular series on what used to be both for broadcasting. Hopefully we can bring the same sort of popularity to the series on the rebrand. But now we are with the Indy Elite Series. They are on their formation lap as we are about to get things going here. Tony, it's become a bit of a tradition now, so why don't you get us going here?
Chris Stofer going to have the button as the field works its way into the 3-4 complex.
Brandon Trost is on pole.
Sorry, Brandon on pole. Pace car getting ready to make that hard left turn. Grandpa, Papa Viagra, it's time to get it on in Loudon.
Yeah, and what a start from Brandon Trost, getting straight up ahead of it. And look at Andrew Kinsella, another former winner here. He won here last season, already alongside Chris Stofer as they come out of turn 2. And everybody getting single file very quickly. And I can't really blame them, as Joshua Chin already up to the top 5.
And Tony Schoen already in pit road.
Yeah, problems for Tony Schoen and problems for Niles Anders as well.
Did not take the green.
He didn't take the green last week. I'm wondering if he's a race control of sorts.
Same goes for Raul Alvarez. He's in the server but not on track.
Right. As we are going to go back to the racing action. Brandon Trost has a pretty sizable lead over Chris Stofer as we are now on lap 3 of 150 here.
Chin and Blocker throwing bombs at each other for 4th right now.
Yeah, you see him right there behind Kinsella. Blocker up to 4th, and there goes Jack Campbell to the inside of Joshua Chin. And we said it at the top of the broadcast there, Tony. Dive bombs are going to be a big thing here tonight.
Very much so. If you can get that car to stick on that low line, at least early on in a tire run, you're going to be able to make some headway early, and then it's going to be good luck to them to try to get by you.
Absolutely. So Zach Campbell pulling up alongside Adam Blocker, taking a quick look there to see if he can actually get the pass done. Can't get the pass done. A bit too far back as he's got Joshua Chin right behind him. Ray Kingsbury right there in 7th place. Andreas Eek in 8th. Henry Bennett having a very quiet one so far this evening. He's only in P9. And Adam Dock, who finished 2nd on the podium last week, is rounding out your top 10 here. And already Brandon Trost is out to a 1 second lead here. He has checked the hell out.
Well, Trost has a 1 second lead over Stofer, and Stofer has a 1 second lead over Andrew Kinsella, who sits in 3rd.
Yep.
Kinsella under a little bit of pressure from Blocker right now.
I'm going to say the top 2 are spread out, but throw a blanket over everybody else behind them.
You're starting to see groupings form up.
Yeah. And this is what you expect from a 1 mile track. You see gaps starting to form and little racing packs starting to race together. As you see Adam Blocker there to the inside of Kinsella. Not going to make it work this time. But definitely, as you already mentioned, Kinsella under huge pressure from Blocker. As it looks like Zach Campbell's starting to get away from Joshua Chin as well.
Starting to get away from Joshua Chin. Brandon Trost, not going to be too much longer before he's going to be into lap traffic. As Raul Alvarez finally out on track.
You see him right there running all by himself. He is a full 2 seconds behind Dakota DiCenzo, who is falling away from the pack himself. Chad Simpson back there in P26. Jonathan Goke having a very poor start to the night. He is down in P24. As Joe Branch all the way back in P20 as well, Tony.
Some of the heavy hitters struggling here tonight, and it's weird to see those names that far down on the timing scoring tower.
Absolutely, as we are. And now on lap 10 of 150 already, Brandon Trost has a 1.3 second lead over that man, Chris Stofer, who himself has a 1.5 second lead over Andrew Kinsella, who's still under pressure from Adam Blocker now as they come across the line to complete lap 10.
they come across a complete lap 10, but you take a look at, your leaders are already getting into lap traffic. This is just, it's boggling my mind that, here we are working lap 10, starting lap 11, make that lap 12.
Yep. There goes toast to the inside of Alvarez.
Which Alvarez is normally an oval specialist, so it's weird to see him struggling this heartily. As Dakota DiCenzo going a lap down as well. Dakota is another one of those guys that usually on the ovals, he's going to be one of the ones slugging it out. But these guys are struggling here tonight as Raul Alvarez eats the safer barrier in 1 and 2.
Yeah, and
he's pinned up there.
Yeah, he's going to stay up there, otherwise he's going to bring out a caution. He comes down on the track and nearly takes everybody out with him. Really needs to stay out of the way there. Hope for a bit of a clear space so he can drop to the bottom of the track, but that almost ended in tears for everybody there.
Yeah, he's in deep trouble. That's going to be hard to get down. He's got a hold, but the question is, can he get it to pit lane? There he goes, finally getting it down to the apron, and not the night Alvarez was hoping for.
No, as he becomes the first casualty of the New Hampshire walls here. Going back to the action though, Adam Block is still all over the back of Joshua Chin here, and they've got away from Zach Campbell, who's over 1 second back from Blocker now, so Chin just pretty much running by himself at the moment. He's got a half a second lead over Joshua Chin, and they've checked out from Andres Eek, who's already 2.8 seconds back from the reigning defending champion.
You take a look at the bottom half of the top 10 with Bennett, Walters, Simmons, and Doc. Throw a blanket over those guys. Is that whole melee with Alvarez really stacked the bottom half of the top 10 up, as these guys are going at it hammer and tongs right now.
Yeah, as you see, Kingsbury, Bennett, Walters, Simmons, Doc, O'Connor, and Plunkett as well at the back of that little pack as well. Big stack up of cars there. As we're missing a couple of drivers here tonight, I'm noticing. But we'll get into that later as we go back to Henry Bennett, who's all over the back of Ray Kingsbury now. And wants by him in the worst kind of way, because Bradley Walters, we know how dangerous that man is, and he'll want to get by as quickly as possible as well.
Very much so. Brad Walters, arguably one of the best setup specialists for open wheel cars right now in the iRacing simulator. And I can tell you right now, he wants to get that car into some more clean air, some cleaner air than he has. As Bennett has to check up coming off a 4, that's going to let Walters get by him, and now sets his sights on Kingsbury. Bennett, though, fighting back on that second lane. Looks like if you can get it to stick, that second lane's starting to come in already, as there's problems coming off of 2. That was Logan Simmons, I believe.
Yeah, Logan Simmons having issues here. Not sure what happened to him. He's already in pit road. Take a look.
He hit turn 2. He tried to knock down the turn 2 wall.
Yeah, so Logan Simmons already in trouble here. And after we had such a good run last week at Homestead, didn't want to see that happen early on in this race, as we're already on lap 21 of 150. Just take a look at Henry Bennett there, still battling out with Bradley Walters. Seeing a battle behind them between Adam Dock and Joe Flanagan, as Bradley Walters and Henry Bennett almost coming into contact there, Tony.
I'm sorry, I'm struggling right now as ATVO's not playing nicely.
No, it's not playing nicely with me either. A bit further back, take a look at Liam Quinn there, a man that was an early retirement at Homestead. Still running in this race, 22 laps in. Running in P15, so right in the middle of the pack right now. Just ahead of John Downing, well, Andrew Wood actually, who's battling out with John Downing there for the mid part of the top 20. As Brandon Chose still out to a 1.7 second lead, as Chris Stofer They've got by, I believe that is Chad Simpson they've got by, it is.
Yes.
Yeah. Chris Stofer, 1.3 seconds to the good over Kinsella. Adam Blocker trying to inside pass though on Kinsella right now. And Blocker finally gets around him. Great move there.
Well, the question is, though, how much of that right front did he burn off having to run that low on the track?
Yep, here comes
Zach Campbell just sails it into one.
Yep, there's the good old dive bomb again as he gets the pass done on Andrew Kinsella. Now sets his sights on Adam Blocker. Zach Campbell is on rails right now.
Campbell looking to make up for that oops he had in qualifying. Just left some on the table and not happy at all. But the problem is he's got to get by Blocker. He's got to get to Stofer, and then he can start to try to reel in Trost, as those two were going at it pretty heavy during the hot lap session.
Yep.
As
Chad Simpson causing all kinds of trouble here for Kinsella and Joshua Chin. Can't find a way past him, and that's letting Zach Campbell get away.
And Sam, joining us now from the Infield Care Center is going to be Logan Simmons after taking that wild ride into the outside retaining wall. Logan, how you feeling, bud?
I'm feeling fine. I thought it was a pretty dumb move that guy made, but what you gonna do? Sit and duck here.
Just got shoved up the track a little bit and unfortunately ran out of space.
Yeah. Hold on real quick. Alright, there we go. I was just having to mute my team channel. But yeah,
well,
I was muting my team channel. I'm sorry for that.
Fair enough. But Logan, looking to see you hopefully bounce back next week and maybe get some points on the board.
Hopefully. I mean, last week was a lot rougher than this week. I mean, but stuff happens. This track is bound to happen. It's not enough. There's not no room to pass. And what you gonna do? You got to make bold moves to try to do it.
And hope the car sticks when you do it.
Yeah, it's very tight track. The right front tire here wears out like crazy.
All right, Logan. Best of luck to you next week, and hopefully the season will start to turn around for you then.
Yeah, I hope so too. Thank y'all.
Yep.
That was Logan Simmons in the booth with us just now. Another unfortunate retirement for the man in the 75. But just watching this battle while you were talking to Logan between Andrew Kinsella and Joshua Chin. Chin only just got around Chad Simpson to put him a lap down. These two have lost a ton of time to Zach Campbell just because of that trying to get around Chad Simpson right there.
Well, like you heard Logan say, this track is so tight. It's deceptively tight.
Yeah.
And very narrow. So if you get caught behind a lapper, it's not outside the realm of reality to lose a ton of time. Chin and Kinsella right now should be glad that they only lost what they lost. As it looks like Josh Chin's starting to struggle. 33 laps into this fuel run, he may have burned all the goodie off the right front already.
Yeah, and we've got 3 retirements already here tonight. Dakota Jutenzo, unfortunately we didn't see that incident. He's already behind the wall. Raul Alvarez, we saw that one. He's behind the wall, and unfortunately we just spoke to him. Logan Simmons is behind the wall, and Tony Schoen is out on track, and he's running a very nice classic Hesketh scheme.
I was wondering how long it's going to take you to recognize that scheme.
Hesketh, one of the greatest independent teams of all time. Well, one of the most extravagant, anyway. Brandon Trost moving to the inside of, I believe that's Stanley Ench, and no, it's not. It's the other one.
17.
That's him. 17? Oh, I don't know. Brandon Trost slapping the field like it's nobody's business. Is coming up.
That was Ench.
Yeah, that was Stanley Ench. As he's coming up on Michael Peters. Brandon Trost is just having a whale of a time out there. He's just having so much fun. But, crucially, Chris Stofer is starting to catch him whilst he's lapping all this traffic.
But the problem is, as Stofer's reeling him in, Stofer's got to realize he's got to get by the same cars So it's going to even out. So
look who's right on his rear wing, though.
Oh, yeah. Blocker's right there within striking distance.
Yeah, so
it's going to be, and Blocker throwing it to the inside as they go into turn 3. Watches up the track coming off of 4, and Stofer's got to check up to stay off him.
Yeah, as that is now Adam Blocker up to second place. Stofer's starting to struggle on the tyres, it seems, as it now looks like Zach Campbell is starting to close it on the back of the number 7. As, yeah, tyres are definitely going to be a factor at this point, as they're 38 laps into their stint now. We're seeing some great racing here so far.
So far, it's been and credit to the
just as we say that,
I almost spoke too soon, as unfortunately Ench almost got turned coming through 1 and 2.
Let's take a look at that and see what happened. Oh yeah, Blocker took a piece out of his rear wing there. Not sure what was going on. Ench managed to collect it up though, and is back up and running. There goes Stofer! Stofer and Ench collide!
Caution. Caution.
Stofer and Ench are in it together, and that's brought out the caution for the first time tonight. Just went to that just as it happened. Stofer went to the inside of Danley Ench. Ench came back down the track, and
Stofer washed up coming off of 2 heavily.
Yeah.
And they just ran out of real estate.
And that is not what Chris Stofer wanted to see happen. Having a good run so far, running up in second for the longest part, and really wanted to get the second race off to a great start, especially after winning last week at Homestead. Unfortunately, it's come to a very premature end here tonight.
Unfortunately, yeah, it did. But I'll tell you, the guy that was definitely happy that did come out is got to be the 2 is Zach Campbell, as that's going to let him really tighten it up with Blocker and Trost, as Trost was really checking out.
Yep, as they all bring it down pit road, apart from Michael Peters, Chad Simpson, and Danley Ench. Ench needs to bring that pit side together, front wing fix, but with it being a lap down, pit road will not be open as yet. Watching the guys on pit road, let's see who's going to win the race off pit road here, and it looks like Trost is going to win the race off pit road. Blocker going to come off second. Joshua Chin moving up to third place there.
It was a drag race with him and Campbell. It's going to be interesting to see how iRacing sorts this one out, and provided nobody got any penalties, as this is one of the tightest pit exits in the sim right now.
Yeah, Chin got it. He's up to third.
And they did give it to Chin. So drag race won by Chin. It looks like Campbell struggled a little bit. May have had a little bit of damage that he had to fix. Is another half a second in his pit stall over Chin.
Yep. And it was right around that area when Stofer and Ench collided, so maybe he caught a piece of it. Who knows?
That's a good possibility.
But anyway, while we are under caution, we are going to take a quick commercial break, I believe. So we'll be back in just a couple of seconds as we hear from the sponsors of the Indy Elite Triple Crown Challenge, Redline Ace. We'll be right back. We are back at New Hampshire. The lights are off on the pace car after we had our first caution. Unfortunately, Chris Stofer being the victim in that caution, and his race coming to an end already here tonight. The pace car making its way into turn 3 already. That's how short the pacing laps are around here. Tro's going to be your man with the button. Adam Blocker in second, and Joshua Chin, the reigning champion, having a better run here tonight. He's up into third after jumping 2 guys in pit road. Here we go though. Pace car about to make the hard left turn. And we're back under green conditions here on lap 45 of 150. Brandon Trost doing exactly what he did on the initial start and just getting away cleanly here, Tony.
That's what he's going to have to do, is stay clean, stay consistent, keep that car under him, and make Blocker have to make the mistakes. That's basically the only shot Trost is going to have right now, as we still have a lot of racing left to do. I'm thinking they're going to have to go down pit road at least 2 more times, as we are not yet to the 1/3 marker.
We are not.
Chin and Campbell just throwing hand grenades at each other right now.
That's actually Kinsella and Campbell.
That's Kinsella, I'm sorry.
And Kinsella making the outside pass on Campbell here. He's almost got it there. He gets the clear. Great move by Kinsella. Moving up to 4th place by a wonderful outside move there. And Campbell just had nothing for him there.
The problem is Kinsella right now is flirting with disaster every time he comes off the wall. Another coat of paint on those safer barriers, and he's going to be in some deep trouble.
Yes. Yes, he is. As we look a bit further back, we've got Andreas Eek right there, just ahead of Henry Bennett. Henry Bennett has gained a position. That was probably because of the demise of Chris Stofer here. He's up in P7. Ray Kingsbury in 8th. Andrew Wood in 9th. Good position for him to be in at the moment, as he had a very poor race last week at Homestead. Joe Flanagan was probably one of the most mentioned names in last week's broadcast, but he's up there in the top 10 again. He's just ahead of last week's 2nd place finisher, Adam Dock. As Dock, Dock's going around!
Caution.
And Dock's put his race to an end.
What the fuck is the caution for?
And I apologise for the language. I forgot to turn my spotter off.
Yeah, it was one of those deals where Doc sailed it into one, and unfortunately the car just did not stick. Track starting to get real hot and greasy right now, as it's already up at 108 degrees. And he's struggling to get that car back to pit road.
Yeah, let's take a look at what happened there. Just coming down across the line, he was right behind Joe Flanagan, and we were right on it when it happened. Just lost the back end going through 2, and that's all she wrote there. And I think that is a very safe meatball, as he's already out of the car. And yeah, that's another one of the top 3 there, Tony. That's out of the race, or from one of the top 3 from Homestead. That's out. Wow, we're going to see a new winner here tonight, but well, we're going to see pretty much a new top 3 at this rate if it carries on.
It looks like it's going to try to go on that way, as got some takers going down pit road.
Yep, that would be Adam Plunkett. We've not mentioned him tonight, as he's another one that had a bad race last week. We got Joe Branch, Joe Down, and Chris Cahill's in pit road. Danley Ench is in pit road as well, as he overshoots his pit box. There it is. And I'm guessing he's getting some repairs there, because he's still missing that half of front wing. But importantly, Trost, Blocker, Chin, Campbell, Eek, Bennett, Kingsbury, Wood, Flanagan, Quinn, Thompson, Goke, O'Connor, and Kinsella all stayed out. Kinsella lost a ton of spots in pit road there, Tony. Not sure what happened.
He went down pit road. He was the first one off pit road.
Oh, okay, yeah. Brain's not working. But
yeah, I know that feeling.
Yeah. But anyway, Goke already up to P12 there, Tony. He's making some moves already in this race.
He is, and we heard him say last week that he wasn't looking as forward to this race as some of the other races during this season. And it's the nature of the beast here at Loudon. It's tight. It gets greasy quickly. Excuse me. It's flat and excuse me again. Very difficult to pass.
There's times two.
Thank you. It's very difficult to pass here, and you know we're seeing a lot of guys struggle. They're trying to force moves that they probably wouldn't force otherwise on fresher tires, because they know once you wear all the goodie off, forget it, you're not passing.
Yep, as the lights go off on the pace car, we're about to get going under green conditions again. The race of attrition is really taking hold now. We have 5 retirements in this race: Adam Dock, Chris Stofer, Logan Simmons, Dakota DiCenzo, and Raul Alves. Actually, DiCenzo is back out on track. So I wonder if he had some kind of connection issue that knocked him out.
Not seeing one.
It's 38 laps down and back out on track, but we have 4 retirements here. Trost, obviously not one of them. He is leading this thing, has been leading it beautifully so far. Tony, why don't you get us going this time?
Trost leading into the turns 3 and 4. Going to have the button when the pace car peels off. Blocker going to try to get a good restart with him. Lined up on the high side. Single file restart here in the Indy Elite Series. The pace car makes that hard left turn onto pit road. Trost has the button, holds him down a little bit, checks it up, finally pulls the trigger, and Block tries to go with him. Josh Chin already under attack from Zach Campbell for 3rd.
Yeah, Campbell and Chin have been battling it out most of the race so far. And watch Andrew Kinsella. You know he's going to start coming for the field on those fresher tyres and already making moves on Eric O'Connor and Riley Thompson, and gets a 2-for-1 sale right there through turn 4. So great move there by Kinsella, but you know those fresh tyres are really coming to life right now, and he's just going to start passing people like the standard still as he puts another outside move on Liam Quinn there. He's loving those outside runs there.
Oh yeah. Where do you see this one?
That's Riley Thompson.
Brad Walters just caught more airtime than a skateboard at the X Games.
Oh!
Ladies and gentlemen, those of you that have been longtime fans of ESBN broadcast, you've heard me say it before, and I'll say it again. That is a classic example of a thank God this is a simulator type of moment.
Yeah, that was a scary one. Take another look at that. It looked like Andrew Wood came across the track though. He did, he got into the grass, came across the track, and Bradley Walters just nowhere to go. He's just cartwheeling down the track like that. That is just terrifying. Take a look at it from Andrew Wood's point of view, because he was the man that was initially involved in the incident. Got loose coming out of turn 2, went across the grass, tried to collect it up, went back out on the track, and yeah, you see it right there. Bradley Walters, just an innocent bystander, and wow, that was a hard hit.
It was a very hard hit, as Adam Dock has put it on the hauler.
Yeah, no surprise there, as he hit the wall pretty hard coming out of turn 4, I believe. So under caution number 3 here, and a great run to start with. It's just the driver's having a bit of a rough time right now.
Yeah. Not the night some of these guys were hoping for.
Yeah, we've seen some big hitters that get taken out already here tonight, Tony. I mean, last week's top 2, Chris Stofer and Adam Dock already out. Bradley Walters had a great run last week. He's already out. Logan Simmons, another one that's out here tonight. This one just likes to eat the big guns here tonight, and well, the big hitters from last week, then not having a good race this week at all.
Yeah, and it's to be expected. When you come to Loudon, it's very easy to get caught up in someone else's dumpster fire.
Yeah. And even the live chat is shocked by it. Ranter just all Ranter could say was, "Oh my."
Oh yeah, very much so.
I thought the barrel roll we saw in the Heart Laughs was bad. That one's just a pure cartwheel down the track. I've not seen an IndyCar cartwheel like that in a long time.
Trying to remember who the last one was that did that.
Probably me, no my luck.
No, I mean in real life.
Okay. What's it?
I believe it was one of the players' Forsyth cars. As the lights go out on the pace car.
Yeah, I'll get back to you on that one because it was an incident at Auto Club where the nose dug into the ground and he was sent cartwheeling.
That's the one I was thinking of too.
Yeah, I'll get back to you with the name on that one.
I think it was a player Forsyth car.
No, it was it was a Panther car.
Failed working its way into the 3-4 complex again. Trost going to have the button one more time. Blocker looking to get a little bit better restart. Trost going to try to keep him behind him. Pace car clears the wall, and we are back underway. Trost picking up right where he left off. Josh Chin, Zach Campbell both getting a little bit better start this time. Blocker going to have a lot of work to do as Trost has the clean air. Blocker's got to figure out how to get by him.
Yeah, Blocker did well to get up to second, but not being able to advance further than that point since he got up there. Joshua Chin got a better start than Zach Campbell. That's why they've got the gap they are right now. And Andreas Eek under caution again.
Adam Plunkett
in trouble this time. So let's take a look and see what happened to Plunkett now. Lost the back end and into the wall. A very tame crash, that one.
Tamer than we've seen, but still narrowed that car up by about 3 feet.
Yeah. Okay, the live chat are now getting roasty now. Matt Kingsbury says, meanwhile, Dan Lee is still trying to find his pit box.
Wow, shots fired.
I know, right?
Good grief. At least, you know, they're having fun.
Yeah.
And that's the thing to remember is, you know, these guys are able. They're friends, yeah. They're competitors, but they're all friends. So, you know, you can bust stones like that.
Yeah. So Matt Kingsbury taking a few shots at Mr. Lee Ench there. So yeah.
Who Dan Lee Ench, I might point out, is the last car still on the lead lap.
Yeah. Still trying to find who it was that wrecked at Auto Club and barrel roll. Do a barrel roll! I will
do a barrel roll!
Yeah, that one.
And I think that's probably the only one I have left that I could put on that's still clean.
Yeah.
We got kind of salty last night in TeamSpeak. Oh, come on, guys.
As we are under caution number 4 here. We will be going back to the action in a minute. I'm still trying to find this name, you know.
Yeah.
Oh no, there we go. gonna bug me now. It's gonna bug me.
You worry about the race. I'll go find it.
Okay. Anyway, Brandon Trost is your leader. Still here. He's led every single lap here already tonight. We're on lap 64 of 150. Waiting for the lights to go off on that pace car again. And it's been a very good race here so far. Despite all the cautions and the unfortunate incidents that have happened on track. And for the most part, it's been single car mistakes of people just getting loose going through the corners. And unfortunately, it's paid a heavy price to a lot of the front runners in the early part of this season after getting good results at Homestead. None more so than Chris Stofer, who had a coming together with Dan Liench and ending his night early. Adam Dock having a spin coming out of turn 4 and ending his night early. I can't speak, I promise. Oh my god. Tonight's heartburn. Tonight's heartburn brought to you by Peter. Yeah.
That'll learn you.
It was only a margarita pizza, it wasn't much.
At least it wasn't a lobster.
Lobster. Anyway, lights are off on the pace car. We're just going into turn 3 now. We're about to get them going under green here. Let's see if we can get a good green flag run as they take to the high line. The reason why they take to this high line is so people can't nick that outside line when they come across the line, because if they pass on the inside, they'll get a black flag. So the only way to pass on and restart is on that outside line. As we go back to green again, Brandon Trost holds on to lead. Great restart by everybody here in single file as they enter turns 1 and 2. And another great jump by Brandon Trost over Adam Blocker here. Into turn 3 they go. Joshua Chin there just ahead of Zach Campbell. And they're already getting away from Andreas Eek. Eek is right there. And look at the battle behind them between Henry Bent and Andrew Kinsella. Kinsella, remember, on those fresher tyres, has been helped even more by the fact that we've had a few cautions since he made that pit stop. And they're both closing in on Andreas Eek there. Kinsella has got Ray Kingsbury right behind him. Kingsbury right there in the 25. And Liam Quinn and Eric O'Connor having one hell of a battle behind him. O'Connor going to throw a dive bomb into turn 4 here. Or turn 2. I apologise. As it fails, and Liam Quinn going to stay ahead at this point. Eric O'Connor going to try it again. As the side by side across the line, give that position to Liam Quinn. As the side by side again as they come out of turn 2. O'Connor going to dive into the inside again. And O'Connor going to take it away. Great move there by O'Connor. Quinn going to try and cross him over, but it's a bit too little too late. As O'Connor has already got the clear and he's already set his sights on the back of Ray Kingsbury. Just behind them, Tony, is Joe Branch. He's starting to make his way for the field now.
Yeah, Branch starting to finally make some headway. Good to see him. Goke has lost a few spots, though. That's one thing I was noticing. Goke's lost a few spots. Kinsella still making some ground up on the guys in front of him. 10-lap newer tires, so if this stays green, and yes, I did just jinx the field, Kinsella can stay out 10 more laps. Sam.
Yeah.
Which IndyCar track did they know? I don't believe they run there anymore. It used to be part of an airport.
Oh my god. You got me on that one.
I want to say Portland, but I know that's not it.
No, that's not it. I actually don't remember. As Trost is coming up on the back of Danley Edge, and Edge just going to move to the bottom of the track and let him by. Oh my god, that's gonna bug me. That's gonna bug me as well. You're just giving me too many things to get bugged about.
If I can figure out the first one, if I can figure out the first part, I can find you. Or the second part, I can figure out the first part.
Yeah. I think I know who the driver is. We've got somebody going slow into pit road. I can't see who that is. Oh, I really can't see who that is. I think that's Dakota DiCenzo. Yeah, he did pit road. And we're looking back at the race here. Joshua Chin still under pressure from Zach Campbell here. Andreas Eek under pressure from Andrew Kinsella, who finally got around. What?
Richard Holt just spun her coming off 4.
Oh wow! So we're under caution again. Richard Holt bringing out the latest caution here. So let's take a look at what happened to Holt. Going out of pit road. Mired in the traffic there, just trying to stay out of everybody's way. I think a bit of netcode was involved there because he disappeared for a while.
I've noticed that too.
Ryan Briscoe, that's who it was. Thank you, Wikipedia. You are my saviour. Anyway, we're under caution once again. Everybody taking the pit side. We're going to step away for a quick commercial break as we will bring you more racing action. Do not go anywhere. We'll be right back.
To the inside goes Logan Cloudman is going to touch in. Pit press. What a save.
Look to the outside as Cronkite goes off. De Jong into second place.
Going for the switchback. Oh, pinpoint driving.
It's howling down to the inside.
Trying this contact though. Slide left of the racetrack. Chris Benner drives it back down underneath and he takes that second spot right back.
We're back live here at New Hampshire. Joe Branch going to lead them back to the green here as they stayed out during the caution and during the pit stop. So we're going to keep an eye on Joe Branch. He is going to be the first different leader we've had here tonight, Tony. Going to be interested to see if they can hold it up there. ahead of a very fast-moving Brandon Trost. You know he's going to try and make his way past those 3 drivers.
It's going to be interesting to see how this one's going to play out, especially considering that Branch, Cahoe, and Flanagan all have 20-lap or older tires. You know, it's really.
We're under caution again. Dakota DiCenzo. Very slow on the restart. Oh, Chapman tries to get around him. Chad Simpson, sorry. Gets around, tries to get around him, but clips the back end and puts him into the wall. A very unfortunate restart there. Let's take another look at that. We're going again. A very slow restart by DiCenzo. And yeah, Chad Simpson just catches the right rear wing panel of the number 16, and we are under caution once again here at New Hampshire.
Yeah. Oh well. You know, that's something we see all the time. It's cautions, breed cautions, breed cautions. You know, so what are you gonna do?
This we'll never know. But anyway, under caution once again. Joe Branch wanted that caution, I'd say, because that will help him with his 26-lap old tyres. Chris Cahoe and Joe Flanagan just held off Brandon Trost before that caution came out, so good for him.
I don't think this is ever really gonna. It's inevitable that it's going to happen. Yeah. You know, Branch, Cahoe, and Flanagan, all, you know, they've got the fuel in the car. It's just how bad did they abuse their tires before the caution started happening?
Not sure, but you know, as you see, Brandon Trost and the guys behind him just staying a couple of car lengths back from those 3. Not sure what the story is there, as we have Chad Simpson and not Adam Plunkett, I believe that is John Downing taking a pit side. Yes, it is. And Michael Peters was, no he wasn't. Stanley Ench is in pit road as well.
Well, Ench caught a piece of the tail end of that last one.
Oh,
no.
Ench went to go into his pit box and then came back out again, so not sure what's going on there. He didn't even stop. I wonder if he had a drive-through or something, I don't know.
Possibility. That sounded healthy.
It's been a long day. Anyway, while we're under caution, I'm going to go to another commercial break. We'll be right back with more racing action. Really? Has control of the field, waiting for that pace car to make the hard left turn. There the pace car goes, and Joe Branch holding him down a little bit, and we're back under green once again. Lap 6, we are back under green. Let's see how long they can hold it down this time, as Branch gets a huge jump going into turns 1 and 2. Cahoe and Flanagan left to deal with Brandon Trost, as Trost already trying to move to the inside of Joe Flanagan there as they made their way into turn 3. Trost got the fresher tyres, as we're under caution again. Eric O'Connor this time. Take another look. Lost the back end and just nosed it into the wall. So unfortunate, we're getting all these cautions right now.
And the good news is I was able to find the crash that I was thinking of and it was Trevor Siebert in '95 at Cleveland.
Ah, okay.
That's the one that reminded me of the crash that Brad Walters had.
And the other one I was trying to find was Ryan Briscoe at Auto Club back in 2012.
Not quite as violent.
No,
when you see the Siebert crash, you'll understand why that was the first one that popped into my head.
Yeah, we've got a couple of takers down pit road. That's Jonathan Goke leading the line of drivers down there. Let's take a look and see how they're getting on in pit road. Goke currently he was sitting P15 before he went back down pit road. That's John Downing down in pit road again, and it looks like it's Tony Schoen that's down in pit road. And Schoen, despite with all these cautions going on, managed to get himself back on the lead lap, so good for him. He started the race 1 lap down, so good to see him back on the lead lap. Hopefully he can get a good run going now. Is in the top 15. And the attrition rate is really taking hold here. We have lost
half the field.
Yeah,
no,
12
not
cars.
even. Yeah.
12 drivers have been taken out. Let's go through that list right now. Well, 11 because Niall Sanders is in race control. Eric O'Connor, Dan Lee Ench is still out on track actually. So he is still in it. He's 5 laps down. Richard Holt, Riley Thompson, Adam Plunkett, Andrew Wood, Bradley Walters, Adam Dock, second place last time out. Dakota DiCenzo, race winner from last week, Chris Stofer is out, Logan Summons is out, and Raul Alvarez is also out. So attrition really taking shape here tonight as the track in Loudon really biting people hard here tonight.
Loudon is one of those, how should I put this, and still be semi-PC? An evil mistress, I should say, where it'll tempt you and say, yeah, here, we're going to leave all this opening here for you to try to get through, and then you put the car in there and the damn thing won't stick at all. And, you know, unfortunately, that's kind of where we are right now, is we're, you know, the guys are they're still trying to figure it out. This is probably going to be one of the smallest tracks we're going to run on all season. So.
Absolutely, as lights are off on the pace car once again. Tony, why don't you get us going this time round?
Helps if I'm live, doesn't it?
It would.
Is Branch going to have the button one more time? Cahoe was able to hold off Joe Flanagan. Unfortunately, Brandon Trost was not able to get by Flanagan before the caution came out, so he's going to be restarting in 4th and going to take another shot at him as we go back to green. The field working its way into the 3-4 complex one more time. So expect for Branch to try to get as decent a restart as he can. Cahoe hanging off of him a little bit. Probably looking to time this restart better than he did before. As pace car getting ready to make that hard left turn. Pace car's in. Branch holds him down a little bit, finally rolls into it. We are back underway, and Flanagan already under pressure from Trost as they haul it off into turn number 1. Trost's going to start on the high side, trying to arc it in. A lot of aero wash right now off of Flanagan's car, Sam.
Yeah, as Flanagan trying to hold off Brandon Trost again. Trost's going to dive it in there as they go through 3 and 4. Flanagan are going to hold him off really well. Great manoeuvre there to defend from the man in the 66. But Trost going to try to get through 1 and 2. Got a better run this time around, but that high line, like you already mentioned, Tony, really helping them out there while they're running that line.
And that's the thing is right now Trost, he's got to get by Flanagan quickly if he's going to have any shot at this one, and just sails it into turn number 1.
Yeah.
And Blocker trying to go with him. Blocker, unfortunately, not able to get the job done. That's let Josh Chin reel him back in. As Flanagan tries to the inside, washes up the track, has to let Blocker by. That's Flanagan in trouble right now as he is dropping like a stone now that he's in traffic.
Yeah, the old tyre's really starting to hurt him now, as there goes Chin. There goes Zach Campbell. There goes Andrew Kinsella. Next person to pass, Flanagan will be Kingsbury, but he's a bit too far back at the moment. And Joshua Chin making a move on Zach Campbell, just as I say that. Taking advantage of them getting all stacked up. Chin has to back out of it. But Zach Campbell in the same breath moves to the inside of Adam Blocker. Moves happening all over the place right now. And Campbell just doesn't have the run right there to get past him and has to back off.
Campbell wisely backing out of it to try to avoid another oops. But these guys still racing hard, but racing cleanly up here towards the front. And all of this racing behind him has let Joe Branch get out to a half-second lead over Chris Cahill.
Yeah, so Branch really taking this bull by the horns and getting out to a decent enough lead over Cahill. And Cahill actually pulling away from Trost, so older tyres not really a thing here, it seems, as Trost not able to keep with these two guys.
Well, if you've got the car in clean air, it really depends on your setup. And I'm thinking that Trost was not expecting to be in a lot of traffic.
No, he wasn't.
He's struggling right now in the aero wash with the two cars in front of him.
Yeah, but so is Adam Blocker. Blocker not able to get to the back of Trost. Meanwhile, behind him, he's still seeing this battle between Campbell, Kinsella, Chin, and Flanagan. Flanagan is still there despite being passed by everybody. And Flanagan actually got around Joshua Chin there.
Chin had to check up a hard coming off it too. He almost ate the safer barrier.
Yeah. And just to let you know, tonight, this isn't the shortest track we're going to this season. We are going to Iowa later on in the season, so that should be a fun one.
IndyCars at Iowa is always fun.
Oh yeah, it definitely is. As there goes Chin to the inside of Flanagan again, the side by side. Flanagan a much better run out of that turn and holds on to the position. Like I said, older tyres not really a thing, as he's still able to hang with the fresher tyred drivers.
No, right now Henry Bennett under heavy attack from Jonathan Goke right now. Is Bennett the last car in the top 10? Goke first car on the outside looking in right now.
Yep. And Bennett in the process is looking to get around. Ray Kingsbury moves to the inside there, and Bennett moves up to 9th place by a pass on the inside. Kingsbury going to keep it wound up on the high side. He gets a shove off Jonathan Goke there. I'm not sure if you saw that.
I did.
Andreas Heek right there as well. Liam Quinn not so far behind it as well. He's just ahead of John Downing. As here comes Heek to the inside, taking a small look to the inside of Ray Kingsbury. Not going to make it work. Liam Quinn and John Downing are right there. John Downing taking advantage of them getting stacked up there. Going to move to the inside. Gets a bit loose coming out of turn 4. That's let Quinn to the outside again, but his run gets blocked by Kingsbury. That's let John Downing back to the inside as he's got a nose out in front of Quinn coming out of turn 2. Gets the pass on Quinn. He's going to try and get a 2 for 1 here on Kingsbury. Not going to make it work, but stays behind Kingsbury, but crucially stays in front of Liam Quinn, as Quinn's going to try and get a run on the outside and push Kingsbury. Not going to make it work, as Downing still on the inside of Kingsbury's to come out of 2.
Meanwhile, at the front of the field, Joe Branch still shows the way. Chris Cahill holding down 2nd place, and he's got Brandon Trost all over his rear wing. Trost dropping back a little bit now, try to get a run on him as they work their way through the 1-2 complex. And here comes Zach Campbell to the inside of Adam Blocker. A little too far back to make anything happen there. They haul it off into turn number 3. Trost looks to the inside on Cahill. Drag race down the front straightaway. Cahill able to keep it wound up a little bit more, carry a little more momentum coming off that 2nd lane. And Trost is in trouble. Trost is going to be struggling here. He's going to burn that right front off if he's not too careful.
Yep, and Cahill able to keep the position here.
Cahill able to keep the position as the 2nd lane is really starting to work well and starting to come in, especially as these guys wear all the goodie off the tires. Surprisingly, though, Joe Branch, 50 laps into his fuel stint, as Trost still side by side with Cahill. Cahill 51 laps on his stint right now. So two of the oldest sets of tires on the track right now, running 1-2.
Yeah. And Trost and Block are really struggling to get around him as here comes Zach Campbell again. They managed to put a bit of a gap on Andrew Kinsella now, so this is a straight up fight pretty much for second place right now. As Joe Branch is a little bit up the road there, they're not close enough to even think of putting a move on him. As here comes Trost again to the inside of Cahill. Cahill doing really well to keep him wound up on the high side and to hold on to the position though.
But that's got to be frustrating for Trost right now, as he led most of the first part of this event, and now that he's mired in traffic, finding it very difficult to get by. As Campbell goes to the inside of Blocker one more time, drag race down the back straightaway. As they're side by side as they haul it off into turn number 3.
Yeah, and Blocker going to try and keep it wound up on the high side, but Campbell getting a much better run out of turn 4. Give that position to Campbell. Still going to nose that in front as they go through 1 and 2. Blocker going to get a better run coming out of 2 though, and holds on to the position, but for now,
Chris Cahill to the inside of Joe Branch, and we we don't have a new leader yet.
Yeah, as Branch able to hold on, and that gap came down considerably as Adam Blocker has gone around Trost. What has happened to Trost? Trost is in pit road. Not sure what's going on there. Probably a bit of a fuel strategy going on there. As here comes Joe Branch again, still holding on to that lead. Adam Blocker is in third. As
money stop for Trost.
Yeah. Adam Blocker to third. Zach Campbell in fourth. Kinsella in fifth. Joshua Chin in sixth. Joe Flanagan still holding on. He's in P7 right now. As they're 1.5 seconds ahead of Henry Bennett, who's finally got away from Jonathan Goke.
Bennett's finally gotten away from Goke on 10-lap older tires, as Flanagan and Chin going at it right now. And, oh, that was Trost.
Oh, wow. Let's take a look and see what happened to him.
Was practicing for Tokyo.
Amazingly didn't hit anything, so good. Pretty much a good save there for Trost. No harm, no foul done. He can just get up and carry on again. But he's going to burn a lot of wear off those tyres with that spin. It wasn't really a spin, it was a sideways moment.
It was a drift.
No. But it's going to be interesting next week, Tony. The dynamics change again as we head to the Far East and to the Twin Ring Motegi on their 1 mile oval. It's going to be interesting to see how they handle it around there, but we all know what Motegi is like. It's basically a backwards version of Gateway, so it shouldn't be too bad.
As long as it's not a night race, we'll be fine, because unfortunately there's no lighting at that track. Ask me how I found this out.
Just to try to night track at Motegi?
Yeah. In the Lotus 79 on the oval.
Yeah, not your finest moment there,
Tony. Yeah.
Meanwhile, Brandon Trost able to stay out and collect the lead here as everybody else in front of him took it down pit side. The only person that stayed out behind him was actually Chad Simpson.
He didn't catch the lead. He got his lap back.
Oh, yeah. That means the leader is going to be Joe Branch, beating Adam Blocker out of pit road. So Branch now on a level playing field with the rest of the field. This could work in his favor right now.
It could work in his favor, or it could not work in his favor.
Yeah.
It all depends on what he's been doing with that weight jacker that is in the car. you know, it's one of those deals that if you're tuning on it every lap and you forget to put it back, fresh tires and a green flag, you're gonna eat the wall.
Yeah, and Blocker actually did beat Chris Cahill out of pit road. So interesting there. Cahill has going to have Kinsella behind him on the restart, and Joe Flanagan using the caution to his advantage as well, as he's now on fresh boots as well as Cahill and Branch. So Flanagan, Cahill and Branch really working these cautions into their advantage here.
Absolutely, and that should be the money stop for everybody.
Yeah,
because you were well within the you can make it from here window.
Yeah, as Trost and Chad Simpson both get their laps back, and we'll be keeping a very keen eye on that man in the 66, because you know he's very fast around here. You know he's going to be making his way through the field very, very quickly.
Well, we've seen that he's fast in clean air, not so much when he's in traffic. He was struggling when he was catching the lap cars earlier, and at the time that was letting, I believe it was, yeah, it was. That was letting Doc reel him in. So, you know, being as far back as he is, now, granted, there's 16, 17 cars left on the lead lap. Going to be interesting to see how this one plays out as we go back to green.
Great restart by Joe Branch, as Adam Blocker just can't cope in the dirty air of the man in the 28. Chris Cahill under attack though. He has got Kinsella to his outside. And why did I see someone go flying off?
Because you did.
And that was Liam Quinn. Oh, he collected Trost.
Yeah.
And Trost's night will be done at this point. You see that left wheel is up in the air. Trost's night is done, and I'm pretty sure Liam Quinn's night is done as well. Although it looks like he only got front wing damage from that. Take another look and see exactly what happened there. You see him right behind Ray Kingsbury.
Peters got involved in that one.
Oh.
Mike Peters was a little squirrely coming off a 2. He collected Quinn. Quinn just annihilated Trost.
You see it there. The collision between Quinn and Michael Peters, and Trost unfortunately caught up in that one. A big heartbreak for Brandon Trost here. He's still out on track, but that suspension damage is going to end his night here, Tony.
Yeah, these cars aren't meant to fly through the air with the greatest of ease. As a matter of fact, they probably, safe to say that they hate getting any type of air.
Yeah. Absolute heartbreak for Brandon Trost. Led the most laps here tonight. It's all come to a shuddering halt there after a collision with Liam Quinn. He is probably going to put that on the hauler right now. And there he goes into his box. He's probably going to get out of the car now. As Liam Quinn going to rejoin the track. He's just had wing damage. Well, Trost gets a new front wing, but I think the rest of it's pretty much done for now, as he's still sitting in the car. Meanwhile, back at the front, Joe Branch is going to be still be your leader when we go back to green here. Adam Blocker was in second, and just as that caution came out, Andrew Kinsella got the pass on Chris Cahill to move up to third, so very lucky that he got that move done just as the yellow flag flew.
Very lucky that he got that pass done. The question is, what does he have for Blocker when we go back to green? And does anybody have anything for Branch at this point?
Branch has been very strong since he got to the front. Even on old tyres, he was able to extend the gap. So Branch knows what he's doing out there in the lead. Adam Blocker, though, he seems to be struggling once he gets into the dirty air of another driver in front of him. He seems to be struggling to able to get by them. So that might work in Andrew Kinsella's favour, because he knows how to pass on that outside and pass them very well in the process.
I dare say he's the only one we've seen tonight be able to get that outside line to really work to from initiation to completion, a pass on the outside.
Yeah. As the guys in the live chat are talking about the Major League Soccer, not sure why.
Major League Soccer.
Yeah, they're talking about Atlanta United and New York City FC. Yeah. Atlanta United are the reigning MLS champions. Anyway, lights are off the pace car. We'll wait for Joe Branch to get them going again. Pace car will make that hard left turn once they come out of turn 4. And you see Joe Branch taking that slightly lower line. He needs to be careful on this restart. He doesn't want to let Adam Blocker take the outside line before he gets across the line, but won't. Joe Branch, after an awesome start here, restart, as Blocker is under huge pressure from Kinsella. As there goes Flanagan into the inside wall. Caution is going to come out again. Another big hit there on the exit of turn 2, Tony.
Wow. Yeah, that's
that's a rough one.
Yeah.
Especially with the run that Flanagan was having tonight as well.
He was starting to have a comeback run, and unfortunately
got into it with that Campbell.
Yeah.
So Flanagan's night is going to be done at this point, and the attrition rate still taking hold here.
It's something I was kind of expecting to see as we move later into this event. We're coming up on 25 laps to go. I was expecting most of the patients to be worn about as thin as, the last piece of brisket I got at a buffet.
Or tracing paper, either one. Or a cigarette paper.
I think the last piece of brisket I got at a buffet was thinner than tracing paper.
Or cigarette paper.
You could see through this thing.
You sure that wasn't the cellophane you were eating?
I watched him cut it.
Brisket should not be that thin.
I looked at the guy, I said, "It's all you can eat, right?" He goes, "Yeah." I said, "Start cutting, don't stop till I tell you to." "Can't do that, sir." Pointed out a sign on the wall, says the customer is always right. I said, "What's that say?" "You can't do that, sir." Okay.
We're going to go do a Homer Simpson on him and go, "I'm pretty sure the sign on the wall said, 'All you can eat, now give me my food.'" We all know that famous scene from The Frying Dutchman when he just kept on eating and eating and eating.
"All I can eat, I'm not done." It's closing time.
Anyway, under caution again here at New Hampshire. Joe Branch, your leader. Adam Blocker in second, but Adam Blocker nearly lost it all after that restart. Andrew Kinsella getting one hell of a restart and almost taking the second place away from the man in the 26.
Absolutely. As joining us now, the driver of the 66, Mr. Brandon Trost, Brandon, you think you got anything for these guys as we get ready to go back to green?
Oh, it's done. I'm just going to limp it around here, see if we can get a few laps in if there's another wreck.
All right. Well, best of luck to you, Brandon, and just sorry you had to end this way.
Yeah, you know, unfortunately, we just had, you know, a lot of lap cars today that just did not want to give room, and, you know, guys who were running in the back just wanted to pinch and block and dive bomb, and, well, you know, I made one mistake and put me in a bad spot.
Well, it's the nature of the beast whenever you come to Loudon. This track is probably one of the most unforgiving we're going to see all season.
Yeah, and unfortunately, to be fast here, you have to make some sacrifices. In our case, it was traffic and handling on the inside line, and, well, didn't work out.
Well, looking forward to next week as we go to Motegi. Your thoughts on the Twin Rings?
Oh, that's probably the only track that could have more wrecks than here, so we'll see.
We've still got Milwaukee. We've still got Milwaukee to come yet.
Yeah, I was gonna say, don't leave out Milwaukee. I went to a demolition derby and a race broke out.
One that takes out 10, and then you're done.
True story. All right, best of luck to you, Brandon, and sorry it ended this way tonight.
So
we are back underway.
Yeah, we're back on the green here, and Adam Blocker did take a look to the inside of Joe Branch there. I just want to take a look a bit further back as Joshua Chin has got a whole gaggle of cars behind him. That is Zach Campbell. Chris Cahill got off to a bad restart there and got passed by a bunch of drivers. As now here comes Jonathan Goat to the inside of Henry Bennett now. And Cahill as well. He's got a 2-for-1 there. Oh, Chin's into the wall. Joshua Chin, the bad start to his season continues as he is into the wall in a big way, and that's some suspension damage on his car as well. I'm thinking he might be able to get that back out on track just as Brandon Trost did, but he's going to be really on the back foot now.
Well, the biggest problem is he's been flirting with disaster all night long, and I'm surprised that it took this long for him to really catch a seam in the wall and have that happen. Chin's been running that high line coming off of the corners, and unfortunately here at Loudon, that's where all the marbles collect, because there's nowhere else for them to go. It just gets thrown out there and they stay there, and then they build up, and then you're up a creek without a paddle.
Yeah, as we're going to take a look and see. You see that outside line where Joshua Chin's going now? That big black band that's on the outside of the corner, that is a big layer of marbles. If you get into that, like Chris Cahill is going over it now just to collect some rubber, to keep some, get some life into his tyres. If you get on that at speed, you're going to be basically on ice.
Pretty much, yeah.
While all this is going on,
it's like trying to walk on ice with flip-flops.
Yeah, not going to happen.
Or as they say in Australia, thongs.
As Joshua Chin is out of the car, and I'm pretty sure he's out of this race now, as also Brandon Trost is out of the car, and he is called it a night. The attrition is just unbelievable here, Tony.
It's the nature of the beast whenever you come to Loudon. This track is very unforgiving. I still am not happy with this track in real life. And those of you who know me in real life understand why I say this. Yeah, this track is just it's a beast all unto itself, and it'll tempt you and tempt you and tempt you, and then it's like, how should I put this? It's like that one really good-looking person that you know, who kind of, they lead you on, and you know they're flirting with you all night, and just when you think that, hey, I might be able to get a phone number out of this situation, you get a throat punch and a kick in the stones.
Yeah. unfortunate. But one bit of fortune that's happened out on track is one for Mr. Tony Schoen. Started one lap down, if you remember, back at the start of the race, and with all the cautions that have happened, he's managed to get back on the lead lap, and he's in the top 10 now, Tony. He is really taking advantage of all these cautions going on tonight.
And that's what you've got to do here. You've got to not only be able to take advantage, but when that opportunity does arise, grab that phone number and run like hell.
Yeah.
And Tony Schoen, apparently Loudon loves Hesketh.
Yes, they do. Everybody loves Hesketh. Lord Hesketh loves Hesketh.
Hoyo!
But anyway, Joe Branch still your leader here. And he's closing in on Brandon Trost's most laps led here tonight.
It's going to be a battle to see how this one's going to turn out for that that particular. I can talk tonight, really. Number. But he's got some heavy hitters behind him that are looking to get by him, and they're not going to make it easy for him.
Not at all. As the lights are off on the pace car again. We're about to see that pace car make the left turn. There he goes. Joe Branch opted for that lower line there as they come out of turn 4, holding them down, and away we go again. Gets another great jump, and Kinsella in trouble on that restart. It's here come Campbell and Goke. Going to be interested to see if Kinsella can hold on, and that's going to be a no. Here comes Campbell to the inside of Kinsella. Kinsella going to keep it wide up on the high side. Great run he got there in the marbles on the high side. Still managed to get a good run, but Goke got a 2-for-1 there. Great move there by the man in the number 24.
And Adam Blocker has gotten by Joe Branch.
Yeah, Blocker is now your new leader, and he's pulling away at a fast rate of knots here as we are 15 to go here.
It's go time. You've got to make it happen if you're going to make it happen at all. 3 wide almost going into turn number 1. Kinsella flirting with disaster.
Oh, Kinsella did get disaster.
Just as I said, getting it to stick, and unfortunately not keeping it to stick, coming off of 2. Goat gets back by him, and so does Campbell.
Yeah, it looks like Joe Branch is starting to struggle now as Blocker is just gone already. And he was waiting for that moment to come.
A 2.5 seconds to the good. Now Branch under Goat gets by him.
Yeah. And I'm thinking Kinsella might have got a bit of damage because he's fallen way back as well. Campbell has fallen back as well. Hanging on to the top 5. He's just under a second ahead of Chris Cahill, who's doing all he can to keep Henry Bennett behind him. Henry Bennett has got Andreas Eek behind him. Lots of battling going on the track, but Adam Blocker, he's just set sail and run off into the distance. We are 11 laps to go here, and he's picked the perfect time to just get up and go here, Tony.
Making the advantage, or making the most of any advantage he could get. Goke doing whatever he can to try to reel him in. Unfortunately, Blocker in the clean air, not gonna reel him in. He's gonna. Everybody else has to hope for him to step on his own junk as we are 10 to go.
Yep. And Goke has got that lead down to just over 1.7 seconds, but it's going to be a hard task to reel him in now as we are 10 laps to go, just coming to 9 laps to go now.
Kinsella getting by the outside of Branch, coming off of 4, getting it done the hard way as he's been doing all night. The only one that I've been able to see that I've seen that's been able to get it to stick on that second lane.
Yeah, that would be Joe Branch. He is up to 3rd place now. Joe Branch falling backwards now, and Zach Campbell going to be the next man to try and get to the back of him. There is Campbell in the number 2.
I think Campbell's got damage.
I can see a slight wrinkle in his front wing.
Yeah. That's kind of what I was thinking too. He's reeling in Branch, but not hand over fist like he was at one point. Meanwhile, your top three, Blocker, a second and a half to the good over Goke, and Goke is a second and a half to the good over the Kinsella. Kinsella going to do everything he can in the final 6 laps to try to reel in Goke. And then he's another second and a half, almost 2 seconds now up the road before he's going to be able to get the Blocker. So Blocker has got to hope that this stays green as we are...
6 to go.
6 to go. And next flag ends it.
Yep. And it ended under caution last week. We don't want to see that happen this time round, as we would love to see a green flag finish despite all the cautions we've seen here tonight. Zach Campbell's not able to hold on to the back, and I'm guessing, yeah, he might have some damage there, as now Chris Cahoe is starting to reel him in. Five laps to go here at Loudon. Alan Blocker got the pass done on Joe Branch and just set off into the distance. Jonathan Goke finally got around him as well. As did Andrew Kinsella doing his trademark pass on the outside as he puts a lap on Michael Peters.
And my microphone came unplugged for a second there.
Oh, it's okay. Joe Branch is starting to pull away from Zach Campbell now, so he might be able to hold on to 4th place here. As we have 3 laps to go now.
3 laps to go. Blocker continues to show the way. Goke sitting in second, 2 seconds back. And Kinsella running out of time if he's going to make it happen to get one more step up on the podium. But that is your current top 3, as they have all checked out on Joe Branch right now, who sits in 4th.
Yep, as the popsicle sticks are out, Joe Branch is right behind Dan Lee Ench. Now just going to put him another lap down as they come through turns 3 and 4. Adam Blocker got one hell of a lead now. 2.4 seconds the gap between himself and Jonathan Goke across the line. The white flag is out this time by. He was waiting for the move to happen. Finally got it done on that last restart and decided to just pull away into the distance. Adam Blocker has been just sitting there stalking, waiting for his moment. Finally got that moment, and he's now got one a hell of a lead as he comes out of turn 4 and claims the win here at New Hampshire and puts his name into the hat. Quite possibly a very early and very decent championship run here, Tony.
Lobster dinners for the entire Blocker clan tonight, as if you've never seen the prizes or the quote trophy here at Loudon, it's a live lobster, folks. And that damn thing has claws bigger than my own fist.
Yeah.
But Blocker getting the job done when he absolutely had to. Goke coming home in second. Kinsella hanging on for 3rd, going away, as Goke giving a congratulatory rev to Adam Blocker. Blocker, hard-fought victory. Got it parked on the front straightaway and getting ready to burn him down, as well-earned donuts right there for tonight's winner, Adam Blocker. Just waiting for guys to get into the TeamSpeak channel so we can try to talk to him here.
While we're doing that, let's just have a quick review of the race. A lot of cautions here tonight, Tony, but like you said, it's the nature of the beast. It's the way the track runs. Kind of what we were expecting here tonight.
Actually, it was a lot cleaner of a race than I was expecting.
Yeah.
I'll be straight with you, and it's nothing against the guys in this league, because these are some of the best open-wheel drivers you're going to find in the iRacing simulator. It's just that this track, it's a dumpster fire, train wreck, love child waiting to happen.
Yeah,
and the fact that these guys only had a handful of cautions is a testament to the quality of the drivers here in the
Indy Elite Series.
Thank you.
So as we're waiting for drivers to come into TeamSpeak and have a little chat with us, Let's go through the results of the race before we do anything else. Adam Blocker bringing home the win. Jonathan Goke in second. Andrew Kinsella in third. Joe Branch just holding on for fourth. Zach Campbell in fifth. Chris Cahill, great sixth place for him. Could have been a lot better if he able to keep the car underneath him. Henry Bennett coming home for seventh. Andreas Eek in eighth. Ninth was John Downing, and rounding out your top 10 was Ray Kingsbury. Chad Simpson in 11th. 12th was Tony Schoen. 13th was Liam Quinn. 14th was Michael Peters. 15th was Danley Ench. Joshua Chin, another bad race for the man in his title defense. Another retirement for the man in the number one. Brandon Trost led the most laps here tonight. He is scored in 17th after a big hit a few laps ago. Joey Flanagan in 18th. 19th is Eric O'Connor. 20th is Richard Holt. 21st is Riley Thompson. 22nd, Adam Plunkett. 23rd, Andrew Wood. 24th, Bradley Walters, after having the most devastating crash we've seen in a long time. Adam Dock in 25th. 26th is Dakota DiCenzo. 27th winner from last week at Homestead, Chris Stofer. 28th, Logan Simmons. And 29th and last was Raul Alvarez, who just did not get out of the blocks here tonight. As joining us in the booth will be our second place finisher, Antonio. I believe you're with him right now.
Jonathan Goke, you got to be happy with the result you had tonight. Didn't have the greatest start, but definitely had a finish that was worthy of earning ESBN Driver of the Night for you.
I'm at a complete loss of words. I think I told you guys last week, this is by far my worst track. I didn't bother qualifying. Well, I tried to get a good qualifying, but I was okay starting from the back because I didn't want to loop it in front of everybody. And I was just hanging out throughout the race, and with the temperature changes and the wing changes, the car just came to me, and I have no idea why I'm here. I mean, I'm amazed. I told the team I'd be happy with the top 15, so you can imagine what it's like having a second place.
Well, you did get a second place, and it was just a masterful drive. Your team had that car set up almost perfect for you from what it looked like, knowing that you're going to be mired in traffic most of the night. We saw some guys set up for clean air, got caught in traffic, and it just ended poorly for them.
Yeah, and that thing was set up to run in traffic the entire time, and then when I got clean air, it worked there too. So I mean, Chad and Ray and Dan, I told them this week if they just built me a car, I'd try my best, but they went overboard. So this is for them. This is all them. This has nothing to do with my driving skill. This is all for Ray, Dan, and Chad. I mean, what a rocket ship.
Well, moving forward to next week as we go to, I believe it's Twin Rings Motegi, your thoughts on going to the Land of the Rising Sun?
One of my better tracks. I'm actually looking really forward to it. I do well in that little egg-shaped oval, so I'm looking forward to that one. So hopefully we can duplicate this result, have a good top 5 over there.
Awesome. Well, anybody else you want to thank before we let you go tonight, John?
I already thanked all my team. Thank you guys for broadcasting. I can't wait to watch it. Of course, thanks to Joe for running this league. It's been a blast so far, and I look forward to it every week.
All right, John, congratulations on the podium. Looking forward to seeing you next week at Motegi.
Yep, thanks, guys. Have a good night.
As that was our second place finisher. We're doing it a bit out of sync here tonight because we're just coming in the order they came with TeamSpeak. But joining me in the booth now will be our third place finisher, Mr. Andrew Kinsella. And Andrew, probably some of the most amazing moves we've seen here tonight. The only driver we've seen in the broadcast here tonight to actually make that outside line work. Looks like you were having fun out there tonight.
Yeah, it was fun. Just wish I could have been a little bit better with my strategy. Got mired in the pack, and then I think the strategy would have been to stay out with Joe and see what happened there, because it turned out really well for him, and I think I could have been out front. But yeah, it was a lot of fun. I was able to make the outside work. I had some poor handling on the first stint, and I made a huge air pressure adjustment, and it really suited that outside line. But it looked like John had a little bit better short run car than me there at the end, and he was able to get by me.
Yeah, and it looked like you were trying to use a bit of fuel strategy as well, pitting under one of the cautions where the leaders stayed out. Were you hoping for a quick caution and hoping they would go down pit road to bring you back to the front and on extra tyres, or was that just a fact that you needed to go down pit road anyway?
No, I was definitely hoping for some cautions to fall my way. The one that Joe Branch stayed out on is the one that I should have stayed out as well, because he and I were on the same strategy until then. I was trying to cover basically for just in case we had a long green flag run, but then we had like 4 cautions in a row after that, so it completely ruined my call on that one. But live and learn, and third is still a very good result.
Absolutely, and on a track you've won at before as well, so I believe you won here last time around, right?
Yeah. Last time around, and then the time before that I was second place. I do really like New Hampshire. It's a fun little track. It's got multiple grooves, so sort of unlike Milwaukee, where you sort of get a whole lot of aero push, you can maybe move around a little bit and run behind people a little bit more at New Hampshire, which is nice. So definitely a fun little track.
Absolutely. Well, looking ahead to next week, we go to another different style of track. It's like an egg shape. Well, I call it gateway in reverse. We go to Twin Ring Motegi. Just give us your thoughts on that, and what sort of result do you reckon you're going to get from that one?
Yeah, Motegi is an awesome track. Very wide, very smooth surface. You can definitely get a really good draft going there, and the passing should be plentiful.
Absolutely. Well, Andrew, congratulations on getting the podium here tonight. Very well hard fought. I know you were fighting it out hard near the end there. Is there anybody you'd like to thank for tonight's result?
Just everyone at Powerslide Motorsports. It's a full team effort. Adam, Henry, Tony, Adam Dock, Chris Stofer. They didn't have the best races, but everybody puts in a lot of effort to the sets and making sure that we're at the front race after race.
Okay, Andrew. Well, congratulations one more time, and we'll see you next week from Motegi.
All right, thanks, Sam.
That was our third place finisher, Andrew Kinsella. Joining Tony in the booth now is our race winner, Tony.
The man of the hour, Mr. Adam Blocker. Adam, congratulations on taking home the lobster tonight.
Yeah, I'm pretty happy with that. My first win in Elite, so it's pretty cool. Yeah, I felt like I had the pace all night. It was just tough to pass, like always at New Hampshire, but I was patient. Worked my way through some guys at the beginning of the race. I think I was up to third at the end of the first stint. Then we had those guys, Branch, Flanagan, and Cahoe, that stayed out and made it tricky in the middle of the race. But got past Flanagan on the track and got past Cahoe in the pits. And then I had to hold off my teammates throughout the race, Andrew Kinsella and Zach Campbell. They were both pretty strong. Andrew almost got me, but I got lucky that a caution came out right as he was passing me, so I got to keep the position. And I definitely wasn't going to give him the outside after that because he was pretty strong on the outside. So, yeah, and then I knew as long as we got a good enough green flag run, I could get past Joe, and I did. And once I got past Joe, clean air felt so good, and yeah, I just ran away with it. So.
Well, we've seen two, I dare say, extremes as far as types of oval tracks we're going to see this season. We go to our third one next week with Twin Ring Motegi. Your thoughts going into that event next week?
Motegi's pretty fun. It's pretty wide, so you think you can make passes, but I mean the fact that you have to brake and you're really grip limited in 3 and 4 means that sometimes it actually gets strung out. But normally 1 and 2 is easy flat to where you can get so normally it ends up being like one long straight and then a tight corner in 3 and 4. So I don't know. It should be interesting. Not sure what we have in terms of setups for that, but yeah, definitely looking forward to it after 2 good first races. So.
I believe that's going to put you pretty high up in the point standings moving into race number 3 of the season. Have you thought any further ahead than that so far yet with this consistent finishes that you've been seeing so far?
I mean, we're only 2 races in, so can't say a lot. But I mean, all I can do is try to finish consistently and don't make any mistakes. So that's the goal. Because DNFs cost you a lot more than just like a 5th place or something like that. So yeah, definitely just trying to keep my nose clean. That's gonna be tough at some of the ovals coming up, and also like Detroit. So yeah.
Yeah, Detroit's going to be an interesting one of the first street courses I believe we've seen in iRacing that they've actually brought to completion.
Yeah, I expect it to be pretty high attrition from the official races that have been there. Normally, like less than half the field finishes. So, but yeah, I feel pretty good about it. I think we have a decent setup on it, and I'm good enough at the track for probably top 5. So, feeling pretty decent about that one.
All right, Adam. Again, congratulations on the victory tonight. Anybody else you want to thank before we let you go?
Yeah, I just want to thank Power Slide for all the support and setup work and all that. So, and yeah, and I want to thank some of the guys I was racing for the good racing, like Tross and Joe Branch and all those guys. So, yeah, and you guys for calling the race too.
Well, thank you for giving us some good action to talk about. Looking forward to seeing you next week at Motegi, and congratulations again on the win, sir.
Yeah, see ya.
So that was our top 3 in the race here tonight. Tony, final thoughts on the race?
It went a lot better than I thought it was going to, and I say that not being flippant. I do not like this facility. When you get anything larger than or anything faster than a super late model or a tour modified here at Loudon, this track is just too tight for anything faster than that.
Absolutely.
And the fact that these guys only had what was it, 6? How many did we have, Sam?
How many what?
Cautions.
I don't know. I lost. I don't know.
Oh, right. Okay, sorry. Different overlay. My bad. So the fact that we only had the I was expecting more cautions than we had, and that just is a true testament to the quality of drivers that we have here in the Indy Elite Series. That they were able to run as clean as they were for as long as they were. I mean, we opened up with a 33-lap run, then we had a 40-lap run, and then the gremlins started showing up. But the fact that we opened this event with 2 back-to-back fairly substantial green flag runs is a testament to just the quality of drivers that they have here.
Yep, and as you've seen from broadcasts of the official Indy 500, these guys are the top of the pile. These guys are the creme de la creme of IndyCar racing on IndyCar racing on iRacing. I can't speak tonight, I promise. Yeah, you're going to see this week in and week out here on the Esports Broadcasting Network. You are in a good place to be catching live IndyCar action as tomorrow, you're back in the chair tomorrow as we head to Hotlanta for round 3 of the Top Fuel Racing Series.
For the Ronnie Van Zant Georgia Peach 150. 100 laps at the 1.5 mile in Hotlanta. You're going to be behind the wheel of one of the rated R motorsports cars next tomorrow night, so I will be all by my lonesome up in the booth, so going to be fun to see how that one turns out.
Yeah, we'll try and find somebody. Maybe Byron can join us for that one. But anyway,
Tammy's already said no to that one.
But anyway, that is going to do it for us here tonight at Loudon. It's been an absolute barn burner of a race here tonight. Lots of cautions, but also lots of action. We've seen only three lead changes here tonight, and all 3 of them have really put down the gauntlet to everybody else in the field here tonight. Brandon Trost, heartbreak for him. Unfortunately, having to retire the car after a big hit late in the race. Joe Branch just fading near the end there. But the man of the hour, Mr. Adam Blocker, getting that pass on the last restart and just eventually walking away with it. Jonathan Gokin second and Andrew Kinsella coming home for third. looking ahead tomorrow, as we've already mentioned, we've got more top class IndyCar racing as we bring you top fuel racing as they head to Atlanta. And then this Friday, Tony, we're in a special race.
I'd rather stand the head of my. Never mind. Can I just slam my own head in a broken sliding glass door now? How did you talk me into running as a driver in the Rolex 24 at Daytona iRacing?
At least we'll be in a faster car this year.
Doesn't matter if I'm in a fast car or if I'm in a slow car. How did you talk me into running another 24-hour event as a driver? I couldn't feel my feet after the last time we did this.
It's going to be fun, as Daytona always is. But that is going to be our schedule for this weekend. But Sunday, we are back with the Beaufort Indy Classic Series as they go to the penultimate race of the season at the infamous Laguna Seca with that corkscrew. That's something to look forward to. But for now, all that's left for me to say is keep it clean, keep it green. And from the Indy Elite Series, from myself, Sam Cooper Bennett, and Tony Chipasso, we will bid you a good night. See you tomorrow night.